Hello everyone and welcome back to the pond. My name is Frank, aka Bullfrog TCG, and today we are taking a look at Rek'Sai, the Void Burrower. So this is a pretty unique deck. It kind of plays like a baited hook deck in that you get to play cards without having to play cards from your hand, like you get to play cards from elsewhere, which is really nice because it basically allows you to draw an extra card every turn, which is sweet. I mean, every turn you get to trigger this effect. And there are definitely more than one way to build this deck. This is just one version of it. But before we get into the deck list, if you enjoy these videos and you want to see more from me, then please take the time to leave a like and subscribe and maybe even write a comment. It really helps to support the channel and I will be forever grateful. Okay, Rek'Sai Void Burrower says, when you conquer, you may exhaust me to reveal the top 2 cards of your main deck. You may play one, then recycle the rest. So there you kind of see the similarities between this and the baited hook, because they both let you look at the top cards of your deck and then you may play one of them. I mean, you don't know what you're going to draw, unless you have some way of putting cards on the top of your deck, which currently now we only have one card that does that, as far as I know. And I'm not currently playing that card on the deck, because it is kind of a build-around card. But what you kind of lack in consistency and reliability with these kinds of effects, you get back in card advantage and hand advantage, because you get to play cards, like keep playing cards, without having to play them from your hand, which is really nice. And that is kind of the whole thing about this legend. And as I said, there are multiple ways to build this. Like, you can build a baited hook version of this deck, which I think also is very sweet. But for now, this is quite a different deck. So let's take a look at the chosen champion. We have the Rek'Sai Breacher, 3 energy, 3 might, accelerate, assault +1, and friendly units played from anywhere other than a player's hand have accelerate. So this is a very nice champion to have in the champion zone. It only costs 3 energy, so you can play him out on turn 1 if you're going second if you want to. That might not be the ideal play, because you kind of want to save, especially since this has accelerate, a lot of the times you want to save those champions for later when you actually need that aggression, like attack right away. But you can do that. But the ability is really nice, because it essentially makes it so that all of your units that you play off the Rek'Sai ability, like the legend ability, can accelerate, which is really nice. And that also synergizes really nicely with the card we're playing in the deck, and that would also synergize really nicely with baited hook if we played that, because that also plays from the top of the deck. So yeah, but okay, let's take a look at the other units. We are playing the Void Hatchling as a 3 of, 2 energy, 2 might. If you would reveal a card from a deck, look at the top card first, you may recycle it, then reveal those cards. So this is one of the ways of alleviating some of that randomness from the legend ability. You get to look at 1 extra card whenever you use legend ability, which is really nice, just some extra consistency there. And then we have 3 Honest Broker, 2 energy, 2 might. Death Knell, play a gold gear token exhausted. I just like getting the gold early, just mitigating some of that power cost. You could also play the Soaring Scout in this slot. I like the Honest Broker a bit better, because I like the survivability of this, because it doesn't die to the Bellows Breath, for example, and it also trades into cards like the Treasure Hunter, or it beats over Treasure Hunter, I mean, which is really nice, because if you're playing Spiritforged meta, you are going to play into a lot of purple, and they are most likely going to run Treasure Hunter, because Treasure Hunter is a really good card. So for that reason I'm playing this over the Soaring Scout, but I mean, the Soaring Scout is nice because you get to ramp one as well, so you get an extra energy in addition to the power, I guess. But yeah, for now I'm playing this one. And then one of the main build-around cards in this deck is the Immortal Phoenix. So 3 energy, 1 power, 3 might, assault to you. When you kill a unit with a spell, you may pay 1 energy and a power to play me from your trash. So, I mean, this card is a really cool card. This actually was part of the, I guess, my second deck I ever built, which was Annie. I played like in a Phoenix Annie, which was really fun. This is really nice in Rek'Sai, because if you have the Rek'Sai champion out, then this is going to get accelerate, because it's played from your trash, not from your hand. And this is just a really nice card to pair with yellow, because you have efficient removal spells like Vengeance and the Hidden Blade. And you also have the a new card that came in Spiritforged, Drag Under, which we're going to get to. But yeah, this is one of the ways of building this deck, like building around the Immortal Phoenix and kind of that, just keep reviving this over and over and over again while also taking care of your opponent's stuff. And between yellow and red, you have a lot of options when it comes to removal spells. The only thing that's important to note, like Cull the Weak is a really good removal spell, but Cull the Weak doesn't trigger Immortal Phoenix, because it's not you that's killing the unit, it's your opponent. So that is one thing to note. But other than that, this is still a really cool card, and the combination of yellow and red is really good. But okay, we're also playing 1 extra Rek'Sai Breacher, because the passive ability is really nice, and also just having another cheap accelerate unit is never a bad thing. We're also playing 3 Noxus Hopeful. I mean, this is just a really good card when you're playing a lot of cheap spells and cards in general, which we are. So this is a very nice 3 of in the deck. And then we are playing 2 Darius Teferian. Again, a really nice card to pair with a lot of cheap cards, which we have in the deck. So just like an aggressive card that comes out swinging right away is just exactly what we need, because if we don't have, like, playing cards off the top of our deck is nice, but if we only play cards that come in rested, like, our game plan is going to be so slow. So we need some of these cards that enter accelerated, like the Rek'Sai, and then, I mean, everything if we have the Rek'Sai out when we play it off the legend ability, and also the Darius is really nice to kind of get that going. And the final unit we're playing is the Triple Under Titan. So 6 energy, 1 power, 5 might. When you play me, give your other units +2 might this turn, and as I'm revealed from your deck, add 2 energy. So this card is incredible. I mean, the on-play effect is really nice. It's essentially like a decisive strike on a unit. So when you play this late game, you can kind of pump your whole team and then go for the game like that, which is really nice. But the reveal from deck ability, like just adding 2 energy, is so nice. Like, this is never a bad thing. Like, adding 2 means that you can essentially just play, you can play a Void Testing for free, you can play Honest Broker for free, you can play the Noxus Hopeful for free if you've already played a card this turn. And the cool thing is that you can also just play cards ahead of curve. So if you reveal this while you're at 3 energy, for example, you can just play the Darius, because you get 2 energy for free. So this effect just allows you to do so much, and it also just allows you to just spew out your hand and be so energy efficient with whatever you're trying to do. Like, this ability is so nice. You never really want this in your opening hand. So if you open this, you just want to mulligan it right away, just send it to the bottom, and then, because, I mean, you churn through your deck so fast, this card is just going to float to the top eventually anyways. But when you reveal it off the top, it's so good. So this, if we're playing Rek'Sai, this has to be a 3 of. But okay, let's take a look at the spells as well. We are playing a bunch of them, because we're all playing the Phoenix here. So we have double Hextech Ray, 1 energy, 1 power, action, deal 3 to unit out of battlefield. Just a really efficient removal spell to take care of small things. It also trades really nicely into cards like Fizz and the Ezreal, which is going to be very prominent in this meta. We're also playing 1 Piercing Light, 2 energy, 1 power, repeat, deal 2 to unit out of battlefield, then deal 2 to up to 1 other unit. Also a really nice card to take care of small stuff. It also doesn't cost a lot, so pairing this with the Immortal Phoenix from the trash is usually pretty easy. And then you can also, of course, just repeat this to deal 4 to something, or 2 to 4 things, you know. We all know this card by now, but yeah, really good one. And then we're also playing 1 Call the Weak. I like Call the Weak, but the thing is that Call the Weak doesn't trigger the Immortal Phoenix, so I am only playing it as a 1-of. And we're also not playing that many units. Like, if we're stuck with like only a Phoenix and a Rek'Sai on the board and we have the Call the Weak, then it feels really bad to play it out. If we were playing a bunch of tokens, then this would be a lot better. But for now, since we are not that unit heavy ourselves, I think Call the Weak is, as a 3 of, is a bit much. But 1-of is nice. And then we're also playing 2 Hidden Blades, 2 energy, 1 power, hidden action, kill a unit out of battlefield. Its controller draws 2. What's nice about the Immortal Phoenix is that this only cares about you killing a unit. So if you use the Hidden Blade to kill your own unit to draw cards, for example, then this is also going to trigger. So Hidden Blade has some double synergy there, which is nice. And then we're playing the Void Rush, triple Void Rush, the Rek'Sai signature spell. So 2 energy, 1 power, reveal the top 2 cards of your main deck. You may play one of them, reducing its cost by 2, and then draw any you did not play this way. So this is, I mean, it's basically like the legend ability, but instead of recycling the cards you don't play, you draw them to your hand. Which means that this is, at base level, it is a 2 energy, 1 power, draw 2, which is really good. And then you also get the discount, which means that one of the cards you draw, you have the opportunity to play it discounted. And also, like, if you find the Noxus Hopeful, for example, the Legion is already going to be triggered because you play the Void Rush to play it out, so this is just going to be free. And then also, if you reveal the Under Titan, then you also get like 2 extra energy, so you can play something for, 4 energy reduced, which is, incredible. And I mean, you can still just play this if you're on 2 energy and you have like a seal, for example. You could just play this to draw 2, which is never a bad thing. So yeah, this card is just really, really nice in the deck. Really good to just draw cards, keep your hand healthy, and then you also get the ability to play something with a discount, which is never a bad thing. And then we're playing the triple Falling Star. Falling Star, we all know what this guy does. It did get a bit of a nerf, I should say, because now it doesn't say do this twice, it just says deal 3 to unit twice, so it's kind of like a singularity now. You can still target the same unit, but now you can't kill something through the Zani's Hourglass or the Guardian Angel, for example. That doesn't work anymore. A Falling Star is still a really, really good card, and the key with this one is that it kills off battlefields as well. So that is kind of the... Yeah, Falling Star is an amazing card. We don't really need to go too in-depth with it, but yeah, we're playing this as a 3 of. And then we're playing the 1 of Void Seeker, 3 energy, 1 power, action, deal 4 to unit out of battlefield, draw 1. This trades really nicely into the Kai'Sa and the Draven. It also replaces itself, which is never a bad thing. It only hits at battlefield, so especially now when there's a lot of purple, and purple has so many ways of just evading this. I think playing 1 is the correct number. And then we're playing 2 Vengeance, 4 energy to power kill a unit. And I think this is kind of the key to pairing the Immortal Phoenix up with yellow, is that you get access to spot removals. Because red essentially only deals damage, which sometimes can fall short, like Void Seekering a 5 might unit doesn't really accomplish that much. On the Falling Star, like a 7 might unit, same thing. Vengeance just kills anything. And it kills anything anywhere, which is really nice. It does cost 2 power, so it is pretty expensive, so you don't want to play this on anything. You kind of want to save this for when you really need it, but when you really need it, this just takes care of anything, which is really, really nice. And then the final spell we're playing is Double Drag Under, so 5 energy, 1 power, action. I cost 2 less to play from anywhere other than your hand, and it says kill a unit at a battlefield. So I mean, this card is obviously meant to be played with the Rek'Sai Legend, because, you know, your attack, you reveal this off the top of the deck, you play it for 3 energy, and then, you know, just get the ball rolling like that. And I mean, it also works with the Void Rush. In that case, you only play it for 1 energy. And of course, the Wombo combo is you attack with something, you reveal 2 cards off the Rek'Sai, and that is the Under Titan and the Drag Under, and then you play the Drag Under for 1 energy to kill anything, which is nice when you're in the magical Christmas land. But I mean, if it happens, it's really nice, but just revealing this off the top, as long as your opponent has something at a battlefield, feels really nice. And then we're playing a couple of gears. We're playing the Triple Seal of Rage. I mean, this card is essential to the deck because, I mean, look at this. Look at these cards. We're playing so much power cost, like the Piercing Light, Hextech Ray, Void Seeker, the Void Rush, Falling Star, everything costs red power. And then we also have the Immortal Phoenix that we essentially want to keep reviving, getting back again and again and again. Also costs a power. So getting one of these guys out early is just going to raise your chances of winning by so much. And I mean, some of the removals cost yellow power as well, which I mean is kind of the essentially why we run the Honest Broker, because that can get us that discount. But just getting the seal early means that you don't have to keep de-ramping yourself all the time. Every turn you want to play a removal spell, like you play Hextech Ray, that's 1 power, and then you get the Phoenix back, that's another power. Or you play the Falling Star, that's 2 power, and then another power for the Immortal Phoenix. So the power just ramps up quickly. So getting 1 or 2 of these out early is just gonna be so nice for you. And then the final gear we're playing is the Sundisk, 1 of Sundisk, 2 energy, 1 power, exhaust Legion, the next unit you play this turn enters ready. So I mean, Sundisk is just a good card, right? Just makes it so anything that enters ready. But of course it has Legion, so you have to pair it up with something else. You have to play something before you play this. As I mentioned, it's really nice with the Immortal Phoenix, because then you can just keep getting these accelerated, or not accelerated even, just ready in. But one thing that is to note is that you can't activate that, like if you play your Hextech, for example, as your first card for the turn to kill a unit and then get back the Immortal Phoenix, you can't activate the Sundisk between that. So you have to play something before you do that. So for example, if you play an Honest Broker, and then you can activate the Sundisk, and then you can play a removal spell and then get the Immortal Phoenix back and accelerate that, or make it ready, make it enter ready. So that is something you have to be aware of. Like the Sundisk can be a bit tricky to play correctly, but your reward for doing so is so massive. And I think that aggression is kind of what makes this deck work. Like you need that aggression if it's either from the Sundisk or if it's from the Rek'Sai ability, like the champion ability. Or just like your units like the Darius and also the Rek'Sai that just has to accelerate by itself. Like I think that aggression is kind of the key to making this deck work. So yeah, 1 Sundisk, really nice. For the battlefields, we are playing the Candlelit Sanctum. This is kind of the staple battlefield for the Rek'Sai because it lets you look at the top 2 cards when you conquer. So essentially for the Rek'Sai ability, you get to look at the top 4 instead of the top 2. Which is really nice. So this is kind of like a pumped up version of the Void Hatchling ability, like a double ability. Really nice battlefield on deck. We're also playing the Zone of Warrens for the added consistency. And then for the final battlefield, we're playing the Treasure Hoard. When you conquer here, you may pay 1 energy to play a gold gear token exhausted. So again, playing a bunch of power cost, just getting a couple of gold tokens early is going to help your gameplay a lot, because you don't have to de-ramp to play your like cards. So yeah, Treasure Hoard, really nice. And then we're playing the 6/6 split of the runes. And then for the sideboard, we are playing 1 extra color week in case we're playing against decks that don't have that many units, but rely on big units instead. I'm looking at you, Oren. We're also playing 2 salvage because this format has a lot of gears and a lot of big and important gears as well, like between the Vanguard Armory and like of course the Delting Aurora, but also gears like the Last Rites, because that is a gear that is gonna basically negate all of your removal spells. You're just going to get your opponent like their stuff back, and that can be really annoying. And then it's also nice to just take care of like a Guardian Angel or a Zana's Hourglass to just be able to kill whatever unit they were trying to protect. And also, of course, it draws you 1. So just a good card inherently. And then we're also playing the double longsword, 2 energy, 2 power, no, 2 energy, 1 power, quick draw, equip is 1 chaos power, and it gives +2 might. I've seen some people play like the blood rush or the assault in this slot. I like the longsword just for the ability to have something defensive as well. Like I think by now you probably know how much I like my defensive red cards, which I mean basically boils down to longsword. Yeah, I really like longsword. The fact that you can play it out reaction speed to protect something against removal, and also just bluff one of your opponent's attacks, and the fact that it just stays around for you to equip to anything else later just means that it's gonna get you so much value in the long run. We're also playing the 1 extra drag under in case we need a bit more spot removal. We're playing 1 thermal beam against decks like Ornn that has a bunch of gears where the salvage comes a bit short. And then we're playing the Brynhir Thunder Song. So 6 energy, 5 might. When you play me, opponents can't play cards this turn. So this is kind of the card you play when you want to go for game, because if you have game on board, then you play this out, then it basically eliminates your opponent's ability to play cards reaction or action speed during your showdowns. So this essentially by itself is just going to win you the game. So yeah, really good card. But yeah, that is going to be this deck. That is going to be Tremors. We're going to take her for a spin, see how this deck feels, and I really hope you enjoy the games, and I will see you at the end for the wrap-up. Alright, and game 1 is going to be against Viktor. We are on the Candlelit Sanctum. Our opponent is on the Treasure Hoard. We have a pretty good opening here with the Mortal Phoenix and the Seal of Rage, so we can have everything we want in the opening hand. But okay, our opponent is leading off, so they are going to play out a Honest Broker. Okay, passing to us. We draw into the Void Hatchling. We're just going to play out the Phoenix here. Just get that developed right away. We could have also played the Rek'Sai, but we don't really want to play that yet. Our opponent plays the Honest Broker, or attacks with the Honest Broker, gets a gold. Okay. Makes a recruit. Okay, can't Color Weak here, which would be pretty bad. Okay, it does Color Weak. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. We kind of expected that as well. Here we have a couple of options. We could just go Void Hatchling and then Honest Broker, but I actually decided to risk it here. I decided to risk it that he doesn't have removal spells for this Rek'Sai. So actually just go attacking right away. Just get a point. We don't really want him to go to 2 points before we get to any points. We're going to look at the top. We're going to find a BF Sword, a card we're not currently playing, and 1 more Phoenix. Which, I mean, a Phoenix is not really a card you want to see go to the bottom of your deck, but, you know, that is how it is sometimes. Wages of Pain. We essentially just did that. The reason I looked at the top, even though I was tapped out, is just because if I find a Under Titan there, then I can play either the Void Hatchling and the Honest Broker. Which, I mean, of course we didn't, but if we did that, then that would have been really nice. But okay, our opponent Wages of Pain are Rek'Sai. So that is also dead, so he has stolen all of our tempo here. Between the Phoenix and the Rek'Sai. Okay, we draw into a Honest Broker. We're just gonna Void Rush here. Look at that, find another Phoenix and an Noxus Hopeful. Yeah, we just have to go for the Phoenix here. Play that for 1 energy, since that is gonna be discounted by 2, and then we can also play the Noxus Hopeful, which is really nice. Okay, we have some stuff developed. And okay, Singularities, wow. He has 1 for 1 all of our units so far. Yep, goes 1 there. He gets another point off the Candlelit Sanctum. He finds out, okay, he actually reveals the top. He doesn't have to do that, but... Okay, so we know he has a Color Weak on the top, and then he hides a card as well. Okay, and then, okay, he also makes a recruit. That is fine. That is fine by us. Yeah, we're just gonna play out Honest Broker, Void Hatchling, and Honest Broker. We can't really do much here. And also what's nice about this, like playing against Viktor, is like, these units are not really that strong. But Viktor only plays the recruits, which means that these are actually going to be stronger than all the recruits. So that's also like a plus to playing the Honest Brokers over the Soaring Scout, if you're choosing between them. But okay, let's see how this develops. He has used a Color Weak already, and a Wages of Pain, and a Singularity. So I mean, hopefully he doesn't do that again. I mean, the Bellows Breath would be really bad here, because he could just delete our whole board by doing that. Okay, it's gonna Color Weak his own guy. No, Color Weak. It's gonna Stupefy his own guy. He's gonna make a recruit with the Legend ability. He's gonna attack into the Treasure Hoard, get another point, go to 4 points, create a gold. Yeah, I mean, this game is not looking too good for us here. Okay, and he passes there, so he definitely has something. So we're gonna attack with the cards we care the least about dying. We found a Vengeance and a Falling Star. Yeah, we're not gonna spend 2 power to kill 2 recruits. And we found another Vengeance and an Noxus Hopeful. Well, I guess I should have played something first, then I could have played the Noxus Hopeful for 2. But okay, we're gonna Honest Broker into the recruit here. Do you want to do anything about that? Because it did have the Bellows Breath, actually. Wow, I do not know why he didn't play that last turn. Yeah, that was not the correct move, sir. But okay, Blood Money. He's gonna kill the Void Hatchling as well. That's fine, we're just gonna play out the Sealed Rage and then also play the Darius here. Attack with that. Yeah, get a point finally. He didn't have a Hidden Blade. Now we have our own Hidden Blade, so in case he wants to attack into the Honest Broker here, then we can Hidden Blade that. He plays his own Honest Broker, okay. Makes Recruit. I mean, that is 6 energy. Oh my god, well okay, another Singularity. We do get a gold, thankfully. Now we are actually gonna Hidden Blade this, just because that means we can get back the 2 Phoenixes from the trash. Yeah, we're gonna do that. That is gonna be a really nice tempo play for us. We do give him 2 cards. But just getting to attack means that we can also look at the top. Okay, find 2 useless cards, find 2... I mean, the Sun Disc is nice. We're just gonna play that. Yeah, play the Sun Disc. Attack with the Phoenix, make it gold. And then yeah. So yeah, I mean, we don't really like giving him 2 cards, but reviving both Phoenixes off of that feels really nice. And that's also what's good about like just the Rek'Sai ability is that we top deck the Darius, but then we also get to look to potentially play a card off the top as well. Okay, Color Weeks again. He goes into the Candlelit Sanctum. Yep. He gets a point. Yeah, that is also like we could have. That is also why we decided to kill the Phoenix here, because we do want to attack into this battlefield to get the Candlelit Sanctum ability off. We don't really care about the gold now because we have like 2 seals and 3 gold, so this is basically useless now. Okay. He looks at the top, he finds... I mean, he doesn't put anything on the bottom, so he keeps both there. Okay, Hidden Blades, okay, it's the Honest Broker, okay. That is a desperate move. He's looking for ways to take care of our guys here. And he plays the Jace. Does he have the gear as well? Okay, yes he does. So it makes 3 recruits. I don't really know why I played it there. Because if we manage to get back the Phoenix here, then we can just, attack into that. Okay, so here, this is a very important decision, because we essentially we can play the Falling Star, kill this Jace, and then attack with both the Darius and the Phoenix. But to do that, we have to play the Darius first, because if we play the Falling Star first, then we can't activate the Sun Disc to make the Phoenix enter ready. So what we have to do is we have to play the Darius, activate the Sun Disc, play the Falling Star to kill the Jace, and then get back the Phoenix. So sequencing really matters on this deck, especially when you play with the Sun Disc. So yeah. So we decide to play out the Phoenix, play out the Darius, activate the Sun Disc, play the Falling Star on the Jace, kill that, and then get back our Phoenix. Yeah, that's gonna come in ready, because now we're because if we didn't do that, if we only had left 1 attacker, then he could have potentially had a Hidden Blade here. Which he probably has, but now we have 2 attackers, and they can both swing over this, because Immortal Phoenix is a 5 on attack. So yeah, that is why we did it like this. Okay, we're gonna attack with the Darius first, which I think is probably not correct. I think I should have attacked with the Phoenix first, because the Phoenix we can get that back, whereas the Darius we can't. But okay. He Hidden Blades our Darius, we do draw 2 of that. Hextech Ray and an Under Titan. Okay, the Under Titan is a bit weird, but the Hextech Ray could be really nice. Really cheap way to get back our Phoenixes. Okay, we go to 7. We look at the top 2, we find a Hidden Blade and a Drag Under, and then we reveal the Void Hatchling and the Under Titan. So again, Under Titan, reveal him, get 2 energy. That means that we can actually play the Void Hatchling here for free, while also keeping up the Hextech Ray, or potential other cards we could have had on hand. And yeah, he's just gonna give us the GG. Yeah, that was a bit of a silly game. I think he Color Weak twice, he Hidden Bladed once, and then he also Singularity twice. Like, he had a bunch of removal spells that game. But we managed to get through it, and that is the power of the Phoenix. But he also saw the importance of getting the seal early, because getting the seal early just means that we can be so energy efficient, while also paying power costs. Like, he did make some weird plays. He didn't use the Bellows Breath, which he apparently had on hand. Because if it used that, then it could have just deleted our whole back row, which would have meant that that would basically have been game over, I think. Because we didn't really have anything to come back from that. But we also saw the importance of sequencing correctly with the Sun Disc. Because if we used the Falling Star first, the Darius would have been Hidden Bladed, and then the Phoenix would have come in exhausted. So yeah, sequencing is really important, but if you do manage to sequence correctly, and this deck actually functions, then it feels so nice. And game 2 is going to be against Sivir. We are on the Arena's Greatest, a battlefield I'm not running anymore because this deck is not that aggressive. I tried it out for a bit. I ended up not running it, but I think this game is actually really sweet, so that's why I decided to include it anyways. We also have the BF sword in hand, which we're also not playing anymore because I think it's a bit too slow for this deck actually, even though I really like the BF sword. But okay, let's see what happens here. Our opponent is on the Obelisk of Power, which is very interesting. It's been a while since I've seen the Obelisk actually. But okay, our opponent is going first. He's going to lead off with a Traveling Merchant, and he also played us out a Seal and gets a gold with a Sivir. Yeah, I mean, the synergy there is nice. You kind of get the power back, but I don't like doing this when you're not going to use the Seal for anything, because essentially that means that next turn he's going to be on 4 energy, whereas he could have been on 5 energy if he didn't do that. So yeah, I think that's a waste, but you know, it is what it is. We're just gonna play Void Hatchling and play the Noxus Opal we just drew. That's a very nice draw for us. He's gonna play the Treasure Trove, and the Treasure Trove also has a very interesting synergy with the Sivir, because you're essentially like the Treasure Trove by itself is just a 2 energy draw one, because you get the power back that you spent to pop it. But with the Sivir you actually get a gold as well. And then the next time you play the Treasure Trove you can use a gold, and then in that sense you actually ramp with it, which is pretty sweet. Yeah, we're both gonna get the 1.4, the Arena's Greatest here, which we both forgot in the heat of battle. Our opponent is gonna attack with the Traveling Merchant. He's gonna play a stacked deck. He also discarded a cold shot there off the Merchant. Okay, we're gonna go Conquering. We're gonna look at the top and Hextech Ray. Yeah, I mean we could Hextech this Traveling Merchant here, but we decided not to. We find a Void Rush and a Sun Disk. Yeah, we decided to play the Sun Disk. The Sun Disk might not do anything now, but it's gonna be really good later. So yeah, we attack with the Noxus Hopeful. And that is not a card I was playing around, the Punch First. If I knew that was in his hand, then I should have actually used that Hextech Raid, but okay. I mean, at least now the Punch First is gone, now we can actually trade using the Void Seeker here. And we also join to the Phoenix, which is really nice, because that means that we can start like developing that game plan right away. But okay, he's gonna play out in Ezreal. Discard a Scrapkeep, draw 3. Not bad for him. And then it's gonna be a challenge. Okay, it's gonna kill our Void Hatchling here. That sucks, but okay, we draw a Hidden Blade. That could potentially be a really good card here. We're gonna play out the Void Hatchling, and then we're gonna use the Sun Disk, play the Immortal Phoenix, ready, and then just go attacking. Yeah, we don't really like playing Immortal Phoenix without having the Seal, but especially when we find the Seal off top. But you know, it is what it is. We just have to pay our tolls. We're just gonna do this, play the Seal, and then pass to him. Yeah, not really the best outcome for us, but you know. Okay, he has all the Treasure Troves here. I wonder if he's playing the Pack of Wonders as well, or if he only has the Treasure Trove for the Sivir synergy. Are we gonna get the gold as well, sir? Okay, I guess you're not. Okay, he's gonna play the stacked deck. Get a card. Okay, he's gonna use the final Treasure Trove here, and now he's gonna use the Sivir ability. Get one back. Yep. Draws one. Better Raza. Yeah, Raza has quickly become one of my least favorite cards. This is like one of my issues with like a package being this powerful, like the whole purple package, because now it's like if you play a purple deck, you kind of have to play this whole package. If not, you're playing like a powered down version of the deck, it feels like. I mean, I'm sure there are other ways to build it, but this package is just so efficient. Like the Raza with the Seals and the cold shots and everything is just so good, and especially with the Traveling Merchant and like just purple in general, just fuels Raza so quickly that I mean, yeah, it's just a bit above right, which compared to the rest of the field, I think it is a bit too powerful. But okay, he is going to trade with his Ezreal here. Well, we will take that trade because we can just get this Phoenix back. Okay, he's gonna play a second Raza. That's not good. We draw the Under Titan. Yeah, we would have loved to not draw that. But okay, we're gonna get a point here. We're gonna look at the top, find another Phoenix. Okay. I mean, we're gonna play the Phoenix. Void Rush as well. Yeah, we're just gonna play the Phoenix. We know we're gonna get that. Whereas the Void Rush, we don't really know what we're gonna get. We're also gonna play the Honest Broker Accelerated here already with the Sun Disk to get another point. Go to 5. Okay, he's gonna attack into our little guys here. Can't really stop that, unfortunately. He's gonna go to 4 points, so we are ahead on points, but not in a way that matters. He's gonna play the Last Rites. Yeah, the Last Rites is one of the main reasons we're playing salvages in the side deck. Because like now we can't take care of both of his Razas, but if he has another unit, then he can just get those back again. So, ooh, he's gonna Sabotage. Yuck, that's not good. Okay, he's gonna take our Hidden Blade here. we were actually planning on using that. Then it's gonna play another Sabotage with the Fizz. Ooh. Yeah, it's gonna take that. Leave us with the Under Titan. Well, that is gonna make our next turn a lot less interesting. Okay, we'd rather Hextech Ray. I mean, we would have loved for that to be not that. Okay, we can still play the Under Titan here. Like, we can play the Hextech Ray and then use the Sun Disk to make the Under Titan enter ready. Yeah, because we can play the Under Titan ready, and like with the Hextech Ray, that can trade into the Raz on the left. And then the Phoenix is gonna swing for 7 because of the pump from the Under Titan, which means that it's gonna swing over the other Raza. So yeah, we're just gonna do that. Kill that, play out the Under Titan, pump the Phoenix up to 5, and then 7 with the Assault on attack. Yeah, trade with the other guy here. Unfortunately, and then we're gonna swing over that, look at the top. Do we find anything? No, not really. Well, past time. We're still just gonna look at the top because, I mean, we could find like an Under Titan plus a 2-drop, for example. In that case, we could have just played that out. But we didn't, so yeah. And I mean, just finding Under Titan in general there means that we could actually play it after Rek'Sai, which would have been pretty nice. Okay, our opponent is going to equip the last rights. Yeah, he's gonna be able to swing over our Phoenix here. Yep, kills that. He's gonna get back his Raza again. I mean, if we find a way to kill this Fizzer, we could potentially like we could potentially find a removal spell and then accelerate the Phoenix, because we could have played the Rek'Sai first. But okay, he's gonna play out the Sivir, attack with that, and then he is going to play Confront and an Ezreal. Okay, and a Seal. Okay, well, we draw the Darius, which means that this is actually a very, very interesting position, because now we have to, like, this is a lesson in playing to your outs. Because we have the Darius, we also have the Rek'Sai, which means that we can potentially play the Darius first, and then use the Sun Disk and play the Rek'Sai. So the Rek'Sai is going to swing for 4, and the Darius is going to swing for 7. Now he has a Sivir, which is a 4 might, and a Fizz that is a 5 might. Which means that the Darius is going to swing over any of them, and the Rek'Sai is not going to swing over any of them. But we can attack with the Darius first, and then see what we get off top. And then if we get like a Hidden Blade, we can take care of a unit. Or if we also get an Under Titan plus a 2-drop or a 3-drop, we could use that energy from the Under Titan, play that unit out, and then accelerate it with the Rek'Sai to go for the game like that. So let's see if we can make that happen here. We are gonna play out the Darius. We have to do it in this order, because if we don't, we won't have enough energy. We gotta gamble for a Hidden Blade or something. But okay, we're gonna go with the Darius here. Attack into the Fizz. Yep, get a point. And then look at the top. We find exactly Under Titan and Honest Broker. That is exactly what we needed. We use the 2 energy from the Under Titan, play the Honest Broker. And then we pay 1 energy and a power extra to accelerate it, because we have the Rek'Sai in play, and then we attack with both. That is 6/4, which is actually going to win us the game here. But then he has Cold Shot, which means that the Sivir is going to grow by 2. So he's going to go to 6. And he actually had exactly enough. He had 1 seal and 1 purple rune left. So we had exactly enough to do that, which means that these are going to trade, which means that we're just going to lose on the next turn, because he can attack with the Raza over the Darius, and then with the Ezreal over these. So what we actually should have done, if I actually thought ahead there enough, and I actually played around the Cold Shot, then I should have attacked the Rek'Sai wouldn't have killed any of these anyways. So to play around everything as much as possible, the Fizz was never going to grow beyond 5, because he didn't have any active runes. He only had tapped ones, so we couldn't have played Punch first, but he could play Cold Shot. And if we did that, then this would actually work, because then it would have been 6/5, and in that case we would have won. So this game was winnable, we just messed up at the end. And yeah, so I mean, a lot of stuff had to happen, like a lot of stuff had to go right for us to actually win this, but they did. And then yeah, we messed up at the end, but man, that was close. And game 3 is going to be against the Yasuo. We're on the Zon Warrens. Our opponent is on the Dreaming Tree. So let's see how that goes. Our opponent is leading off. We do have the Void Hatchling. We also have the Silver Rage, which is nice. Our opponent is going to lead off with a Lonely Poro. Okay. I mean, if you know me, you know I like being energy efficient, so we are actually going to lead off with the Rek'Sai here. Even though that is a card that could potentially be good later, but we are just going to play it out just because we have the energy to do so. And that also means that we could potentially have energy up for Dragundra. I don't really know what we're going to use that for, but we could do that as well. Okay, it's going to attack with a Poro, discard an Adaptodron, and then play Heart of Dark Ice. Okay, Heart of Dark Ice is pretty annoying because that means that he's always going to be above rate when attacking into us. And here we have a decision, because we really want to attack into this Lonely Poro. But if he has an on guard, he is going to be able to trade. But we're like, you know what, we don't really want Yasuo to have too many units on the board. We kind of want to keep him at a low unit count. So we're actually going to go for it here. We're going to go for the attack with the Rek'Sai into the Lonely Poro, 4-2, and then he has an on guard. Yeah, so he is going to be able to trade here, unfortunately, but we can just rebuild. We play the Honest Broker and the Noxus Hopeful. And he's going to play the Yasuo. Okay, well the Yasuo we can actually, I mean, if we attack here and we find a Falling Star, for example, okay, we find the Falling Star. Yeah, and then we found a Vengeance as well. We could have used that as well, but it's probably a bit expensive. We're going to play the Honest Broker instead, just to get more guys developed. We're going to use the Falling Star there. Then we're going to attack. And then we also have the Drag Under in case he plays like another threat. So we're actually looking pretty good here. Okay, he's going to play Morbid Return. Okay, well that was not one that I was playing around. Okay, so he does play the Lonely Poro and the Guardian Angel. And our turn is looking pretty insignificant here because we don't really have much we want to do. Like that is, like those turns are pretty awkward when you attack both battlefields and you hold both battlefields. That means, I mean, you can't use the Rek'Sai ability, so you just have to move back. So Rek'Sai would have really liked to have the Orange Illusion here, because then we could have like tagged it out, which would have been so good for the deck. But we can't. So here we are. But okay, he's gonna play out a Yasuo, of course, equipped with the Guardian Angel here. Okay, he's gonna use the ability to move it in. So we are actually gonna go for the Drag Under here, because that means that we can just attack into the Yasuo on the next turn. Because he only has 1 energy, so we can't... okay, well never mind, we can't do that. Of course he gets bounced back by the Guardian Angel. But we can go for like drawing into a Vengeance or another Falling Star, for example. That would actually work. But okay, it's gonna go attack with the Lonely Poro, get a point. He's gonna discard a Fight or Flight. We're gonna draw into a Noxus Hopeful, not a removal spell, in other words. We're gonna go for the Noxus Hopeful first, because if he has an on guard, at least we trade. Okay, we draw and get a point. We discard the Noxus Hopeful here, get another one, because we have so many units on the board that the Under Titan is gonna give us a lot more value than the Noxus Hopeful is. So that is why we did it like this. We're going through the Hextech Ray, not really what we need. We found another one, and a Darius, and then we found Honest Broker and a Seal. Yeah, not really what we needed there, but I mean, if he decides to attack with the Yasuo, then we can potentially just like beat over him, because we have so much might on the board. Okay, we're gonna attack with Honest Broker, go to 6 points, so we are potentially looking at winning next turn. He's gonna use the Heart of Dark Eyes on the Yasuo. So if he attacks the Noxus Hopeful here, then I am just gonna Hextech Ray it. Okay, he's not gonna do that. He's gonna attack into that first. Gank over. Okay, Discipline first. That is smart of him. He's playing around stuff, but also he wanted to draw 2, like draw an extra one off the Dreaming Tree, so that's why I did it like this. But okay, he's gonna go to 4 points. Now, can he protect this? That is the question, because we do have not that much might on board. With the Under Titan we do, and we also have the potential to like attack over this battlefield, over the Dreaming Tree, and then look at the top and see what we get. Okay, we find a Vengeance actually. We're thinking of using the Vengeance, but then we're like, no, wait, let's look at the top first. Let's see what we get. Let's see if we find something cheaper. Okay, we'll find the Void Rush. We're actually gonna bottom deck the Void Rush. Okay, we'll find a Void Seeker. That is a potential card we could play, and the Falling Star. So here we actually decide to go for the Falling Star, just because that allows us to. I mean, first of all, Falling Star deals more damage. It deals 6 instead of 4 damage, but that also allows us to play both the Hextech Ray and the Under Titan on the same turn. Whereas if we played the Vengeance or the Falling Star, we could have done that. So we're gonna Falling Star here. He's gonna Discipline. He unguards. Okay, he gets the unguards and Disciplines, so he gets that to an 8, and then we're gonna go for the game from there. Yeah, I mean, okay, smiley face. That was a good freeze. I mean, yeah, sometimes you don't really need more than a bunch of small units and a bunch of removal spells. Yeah, that worked out in the end. You really saw the benefit of actually playing the Rek'Sai out in turn 1 there. Like instead of one of our small guys, because that allowed us to trade into the Poro. Whereas if we didn't do that, he could have played the on guard and then just killed our unit that we attacked into him with, which would have been a massive tempo loss. And against Yasuo, you really want to keep him on a low unit count. And yeah, that paid off in the end. We managed to out-temp win with all of our little guys, and yeah, we managed to win. And game 4 is going to be against the format menace himself, Draven. We are on the Treasure Hoard. Our opponent is on the Zon Warrens. So okay, let's see how this goes. We have, I mean, a bit of an awkward opening here. I mean, this could also be very good because we do have the Piercing Light, which could take care of both the Overzealous Fan and the Treasure Hunter. I also have the Seal, which is really nice. But okay, he's gonna play out the Treasure Hunter. Okay, that's fine. We are probably gonna lead off with the Rek'Sai ourselves here. Yeah, we are. Let's just play it out. Now, hopefully, he plays a Overzealous Fan into that battlefield, or plays that into the back or something like that. Okay, he's gonna get a gold here. Discard a Scrap Heap. Draw 2. Yep, get a point as well. Pretty good start for him. Then he's gonna play the Last Rites. Yeah, well, that is the gear that we love so much. Okay, we're just gonna attack with the Rek'Sai here. He doesn't really have anything that he could use here in response because, yeah, to kill that, get a point, discard a. I mean, we kind of like all these cards. We're actually just gonna discard one of the Void Rushes. Okay, we'll draw into the Void Hatchling. Well, had we known that, then we obviously would have done something different. But okay, we're gonna attack with the Void Hatchling here. Yeah, we get that, get a point. We're gonna use the. We're actually gonna use the battlefield to get here to get a gold. We're not gonna use the Rek'Sai ability this turn, because we just wanted the early points, get to 2 points before he did. So we're in the point lead. And pass to him. He's gonna float too. Okay, play a Seal of Discord. Play another Seal of Discord. He's gonna Bushwhack. Okay. Oh, that could be scary. Ooh, that could be very scary actually. And he's gonna play the Battering Ram. Yeah, play Battering Ram for 2 energy. That is a very good turn for him. I mean, and he's also gonna get back to the Treasure Hunter if he wants to. Okay, well, that is a weird placement, but okay, he's gonna attack with the Ram, with the Last Rites equipped. He just didn't know how to equip it. Yeah, there we go. Okay, yeah, he kills the Void Hatchling. I do want to get back the Treasure Hunter. Yeah, you do. Okay, well, spot removal. Come on, spot removal. Give us some spot removal for taking care of this rambling, no, this Battering Ram here. But I mean, that again, like that's what's okay. We draw the Under Titan. That's what's so bad here, because even if we draw the removal spell, he can just equip this to the Treasure Hunter and then attack and conquer and just play the Battering Ram again. Like, yeah, the Last Rite is such a powerful gear. Okay, we draw the BF Sword and the Immortal Phoenix. Yeah, that is not what we want here. If we can use this on this gear, then we could actually play the Phoenix. And then we could have played the Piercing Light, killed both of his units, and then traded with the Phoenix. So if we had known that there was a Phoenix on top, then we should have actually have used the Piercing Light first, because then we could have accelerated the Phoenix here. But since we're on 4 energy, we can't actually do that. So we think about playing the Phoenix, but we actually decide now we're just going to play out the BF Sword. And play out the Void Hatchling. Which, I mean, doesn't really accomplish anything here, but yeah, that was a really rough turn. If we had been able to take care of his Treasure Hunter and his Battering Ram there, that would have been very good for us, because that meant that he couldn't have gotten those back next turn, unless he had something accelerated. But okay, he's gonna attack with the Treasure Hunter here. Discard a Falling Star, and then he's gonna play the Ezreal, okay. Discard a unit. Oh my god, a Raza, okay, well. Our worst nightmare. But I mean, now at least he only has 2 cards in trash, so it is gonna take a while for him to get this this Raza back. He's gonna play another Ezreal. Okay. Discard a Fizz. Well, I mean, killing the Battering Ram and the Treasure Hunter wasn't actually gonna do as much in the end there. We are gonna attack into the Treasure Hunter with the Void Hatchling here. See what we get off top. Okay, we're gonna discard the Seal, get another Under Titan there, and then we find a Color Weak and a Void Seeker. I mean, the Color Weak doesn't really do anything here because we don't have any control over what he's gonna kill. And unfortunately, yeah, the Piercing Light also doesn't do anything here because it has to target at the battlefield first. So we can potentially use that next turn, we're thinking. And here's like, we don't really want to attack with the Rek'Sai because going from 4 to 5 points is not really that, it doesn't really matter that much. If we were on 5 points and we went to 6 points, then that would have mattered a lot. But now going from 4 to 5 is not really necessary, so we actually just decide to, you know what, we're just gonna play out one of these Under Titans, and then we're just gonna pray to get something next turn. Okay, we pass to him. He is going to go to 6 points here, regrettably. He's gonna play out the Draven. Okay, attack with the Ezreal into the Void Hatchling, yep. Goes to 5 points. Discards a overzealous fan. Okay. Okay, attacks with a battering ram for 7. He goes to 6. He gets a Raza back from the trash. Yeah, this is not looking good for us here. Okay, we draw the Piercing Light, which means that, I mean, it's not really looking good for us because we can potentially play both of these Piercing Lights, like deal 16 damage in total, so we could take care of the Ezreal and the 2 guys in the back and then deal some damage here. Which means that we would have had to trade in both of our units here, because, I mean, even if we attach the BF Sword, and that is still just going to be 12 damage to 13. So, yeah. So I actually ended up just quitting here. I think it was probably a bit early. I should have stayed in for at least one more round. I mean, the odds are not looking good for us, because we would have spent our whole turn just clearing everything on the board, and we couldn't have played out anything ourselves, because that would have spent 8 energy. And we would only have 2 left, so we wouldn't have been able to play the Immortal Phoenix as well. But I mean, yeah, I think it was a bit too early for me to quit. But yeah, I don't know, I guess I was just getting salty at this point. So yeah, it wasn't looking good, but a bit early to quit. And our final game today is going to be against Azir. We're on the Candlelit Sanctum again. Our opponent is on the Vilemouse Lair. Okay, interesting battlefield. But okay, let's see if we can lead this off with a win. We kind of gave up a bit early last game, so let's not do that this time. But okay, we are going to lead off with the Void Hatchling here. Our opponent is going to lead off with the Eye of the Herald. Mecha Sand Soldier, yep. That is kind of what the deck tries to do. That's okay. Okay, we join to the Rek'Sai. We're going to attack with the Void Hatchling here into the Candlelit Sanctum. Get a point. Hopefully we can get a 2-drop here. I mean, the Void Rush is kind of a 2-drop, but not really what we need. Yeah, we're just going to bottom deck both of those. I don't really think we want to spend power yet. Then we actually also get to look at 1 extra from the Void Hatchling. We're not going to play that either. 2-drop. Okay, we'll find the Honest Broker, and that is perfect. We also find the Seal, which now we're kind of like, okay, we want the Seals as well, but we also want to play the Honest Broker into the Noxus Hopeful layer. Yeah, we decided to go for that. Play the Broker and play the Noxus Hopeful. And pass to him. Yeah, we'd rather go for the tempo than the potential of playing, you know, playing the Phoenix out later. Okay, he's gonna attack there. Trade. Okay, we're just gonna take the Sand Soldier with us. Leave him with the Recruit. We can just attack into that next turn. He's gonna look at the top 2. Put 1 to the bottom. He's gonna play a Doran's Shield. Okay, and he's gonna play Desert's Call. Okay. Not Legend ability there. Okay, fair enough. His hand must be looking a bit weird. But okay, we're just gonna attack here. Get a point. Look at the top. Find an Under Titan and a Phoenix. Okay, well. We're actually just gonna bottom the Phoenix because we have one already. And then, I mean, yeah, this is perfect. We can just use the Under Titan energy. Play the Void Hatchling, for example. Yeah, we actually have some options here. We could also play the Falling Star, which is actually really nice here. So yeah, we decided to play the Void Hatchling. We add 2 from the guide to play that for free. And then we can play the double Falling Star, take care of both of these Sand Soldiers. And then we can also play the Phoenix. Or I guess Conquer first and then play the Phoenix. Okay, never mind, we're actually just going to play the Rek'Sai. I guess we didn't want to spend another power. We can just wait for that until next turn instead. Okay, let's see what he does there. Yeah, that Falling Star was really good for us. That set him back a lot. Okay, he's going to play Guardian Angel. Mecha Sand Soldier. So since he's playing the Guardian Angel, I assume he's playing the Renata Glask as well. Okay, he's going to play out the Azir. We unfortunately can't move the Noxus Hopeful back, so we just decide to move the Void Hatchling back and then just pass it to him. We do have the Drag Under in case he wants to attack us with the Azir. I actually don't think it was correct to attach the Guardian Angel to the Sand Soldier there. He should have just attacked the Doran's Shield or the Eye of the Herald. Because, I mean, we don't really care about the Sand Soldier not dying. But he should definitely protect his Azir over this. So, yeah, a bit of a weird play, but okay. We'll take it. We have the Drag Under, which is nice. We also have the Call the Weak, which could come in handy. We decided not to use it last turn because we wanted the opportunity to play the Drag Under instead. But okay, he's gonna tap 4 here. Okay, the BF Sword. Mega Sand Soldier, yep. Okay, he's gonna attack there with the Soldier, yes. Get a point. Look at the top 2. 1 to the bottom, 1 to the top. He's gonna equip the Herald to the Azir. Yeah, he is making some weird plays here. This is not the move. This is not the move at all. And this actually allows us to trade. Because we can drag under the Azir and then trade into everything else. Unless he has like a pump spell or something. Which he might have. Okay, yep, trades. We will take that trade, sir. That trade is fine by us. Yeah, I'm assuming this is probably a bit of a newer player, because just throwing your Azir away like that is not the move. Yep, okay, plays another BF sword. We draw into another drag under. What do we draw? We draw the color weak. I mean, we could just go ham with the color weaks here. We're actually gonna keep the color weak on top. We're actually not gonna use it yet. We're gonna attack with Honest Broker first, because then we can color weak the Honest Broker. Look at the top two, and that's a seal and a color weak. Yeah, we're just gonna color here, because we have doubles, we can take care of both of those. So we kill the Honest Broker. Yep. And then, yeah, we're just gonna use another one. Kill the Void Hatching as well. And then we can just play out the Rek'Sai, and then unless he has removal spells for both of these, or one of these, then we can just win next turn. Okay, as the color weak. Well, maybe we can't. Maybe we can still. If we find a 2-drop, that we can't just attack with the Darius. Okay, it just gives us GG there. Yeah, well, I mean, I think this is probably a bit of a newer player. He made some weird plays, like not protecting your Azir in the Azir deck is not the move. Like, he decided to protect the Sensor instead. But just like in general, like there were so many, like here for example, he could have still attached the Dorn's shield to one of these guys, so that his Azir didn't have to die, and like I would have to deal damage to something else instead. That would also have been an okay idea. Like in this case I had the drag under, so it didn't really matter. But yeah, he kinda threw this game away, I think. And that is going to be Tremors, the Rek'Sai deck. Yeah, I mean, this deck is cool. It's really cool. But I mean, it is very like high rolly, because sometimes you could just keep missing off the top, and then you don't really find stuff you want, and you keep drawing your like your Under Titans, and you don't like find them on top to get that discount. But if you do find this on top, like you saw, we had so many good turns where you can actually use this energy to, it kind of totally changes how you want to go about playing your turn out, because you just all of a sudden get 2 extra energy. So this card in the deck is amazing. I think for me, like the problem with this deck is that sometimes it can struggle to finish. Like you're really good in the early game, and then in the mid to late game you kind of struggle a bit, unless you've kind of been able to like consistently keep removing your opponent's stuff while also developing your own guys. Like if you don't find the Phoenix, like the Phoenix is definitely one of the more important pieces of this like whole deck. Like getting this early and then getting more of a benefit when actually using these removal spells, because the removal spells by themselves are basically just gonna, I mean, always gonna 1-for-1, unless you're like Piercing Light or Falling Stars. But if we can get that unit developed at the same time, then that becomes a lot better. And you also, so like those games where we actually managed to develop a Seal of Rage early, like our energy, we had no problem. Like one seal just fixes all of our energy, no problem. But if we don't find that, then we get really taxed if we have to keep like playing these removal spells, because all of them cost power. So yeah, I think this deck is really cool. This is one way of building the deck. I think you have to go for the removal spell package. Like I tried to build one version that didn't have like this whole spell package, that was more like a mid-range like aggro build, but I just couldn't get it to work. Maybe it was just me, maybe I'm just a bad deck builder, or maybe I just couldn't figure this guy out. But I think like next time I do want to try a baited hook deck with Rek'Sai as well, because I think baited hook could be really sweet. But yeah, like the Immortal Phoenix package is definitely a really good version to go on. Like maybe this is not the best version, but this is a really solid approach if you want to build this deck, because you get so much more benefit off all of your removal spells. And you kind of have to like pick and choose which ones you want, and they're also going to be very like format dependent. Like I really like the Vengeances. I don't think we have actually played a single Vengeance today because we didn't have to. But I just like having that spot removal that kills anywhere, because then you don't allow your opponent to just build up in the back. You kind of take some of that away from them. I mean, the Catalyst Sanctum is obviously the best battlefield here, because you get so much consistency when using your legend ability. But I think the Zone Warrens as well, just kind of drawing you into the cards you need. And also the Treasure Hoard, just to mitigate some of that power loss early. They're also like really solid battlefields. Like you saw, we played the Arena's Greatest at one point, but I just found out that this deck can be really aggressive, but it usually is not going to be aggressive enough to actually benefit a lot off that battlefield. I just found that these kind of more like value-centric battlefields just felt a lot better. But yeah, I mean, this is one of those decks that really would love to have something like the Orange Illusion in it, because like some games where you're actually attacking both battlefields on one turn, and then on the next turn they don't attack you back, so you actually have to just move, you actually hold on both battlefields, which means that you get these non-turns where you have your hand is like full of removal spells, and then you also can't attack into a battlefield to potentially play something at the top. So in that case, like units that allows you to move back are going to be really powerful. We don't really have those in these colors yet, but if we get like a orange Lucian-ish version of a card, then that could be really powerful there. But yeah, for now, that is going to be the end of the video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I really hope to see you in the next one. But until then, take care and bye-bye.